About a year ago, when I was looking for a video editor that was gonna give me more features than just iMovie, which I have on my Mac, I asked the Lord, please guide me, I need to find a video editor. You would imagine that the Lord would immediately just say to me, ain't no need to spend no money, baby. Just go for CapCut. It's gonna give you what you need. The Holy Spirit could have just whispered CapCut in my ear, and I would have just found it. Instead, Filmora advertised itself so well that I bought it. Why did the Lord allow that to happen, that whole journey? God delights in those who search a matter out. He delights in those who research, and he also delights in exposing things in this particular fashion. Filmora would never have been exposed if I did not eventually get so frustrated that I would find CapCut. So I had to be frustrated by an American company until I finally find reprieve in another nation's platform. ByteDance, which is, so America's cry that China is going to take them over. Well, frankly, I would much rather America win that particular war, because I don't believe in the political rhetoric of China at all. It's too authoritarian and very anti-Christ. So I'm rooting for America. But in rooting for America, while persecuted by America, I'm just like, you know what? Eat the cake that is fed you, America, because you are pushing even your own supporters away. You deserve to be taken over by China because of what you're, in your very unscrupulous makeup, doing to the world. Here it is that a supporter of yours, or a person that used to stand with you, is more aided by Chinese platforms than you. I told you, I live in a country that frankly does not also share my religious and also political. My country hates Israel. My nation is pro-Palestine. My nation is standing with nations that don't care for other nations' sovereignty. And my nation is persecuting the living daylights out of me as a Christian. So I really could not care less what happens with South Africa, given how badly they've persecuted me. But I live here. I'm like an Iranian convert to Christianity. My nation is hostile for me to live in now because it's persecuting the living daylights out of the kind of people that I am. So I would any day today stand and support American politics faster than I would ever support South African politics. I also live in a nation who one of its apparent future leaders hates white people, Julius Malema. So really, South Africa is like whatever. South Africa is South Africa. I used to love my nation until it became so bizarre in the way that it thinks that I have graduated away from patriotism because I realize it's not going to do anything for me. So I would far first stand with right-wing politics in America than I would in South Africa. I don't support the war in Ukraine while South Africa remains mum on the matter. That's what's going on. But when somebody that is more in line or attuned and is therefore willing to put a tick voting for you, rooting even for the, slowing down the freezing of the de-dollarization of the world because of what de-dollarizing would mean for the global human rights constitution. When somebody is so pro-USA that even though she has been upset by them, they have irritated the living daylights out of her, that she will still stand with them any day before standing with the countries that are trying to take them over because of what they stand for politically and what they stand for religiously, and you still afflict them. On that day, you are a country that God has given favor, but you've turned your face against God, so God is handing you over to your captors. America is being handed over to its captors. It's being handed over to the equivalent of Babylon to the Hebrews in the past. It's being handed over to China. It's being handed over to Russia. It is being handed over to the UAE. It's being handed over to Iran. It is being handed over to all of its enemies, to Egypt, to Ethiopia, to South Africa. Because even though all of these countries combined look very eerily like the Gog and Magog bunch, just with us, the Southern African and the North and the Southern American countries, even though that looks eerily like Gog and Magog, even though it is also very anti-Christ, this union, for crying out loud, you should repent. Like this union, of nations that are against the US is so against God that America is literally, at this present moment, the lesser evil in comparison to BRICS. It is, in God's eyes, the lesser evil. And I say lesser evil because it's just freaking evil. But it is the lesser evil. And so for those reasons, I've been standing with America. But when you stand with America, because your country's persecuting you, and because you can never stand for what the opposite, the alternative is just too grievous, but then somehow you're being enabled by the side that is literally against heaven's politics. For crying out loud, you are a nation that's been handed over. You are like the chosen people of God that have been given into Babylon. The world would be better off futuristically if you stayed strong, because there is no hope for a land that is under authoritarians like Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. There is no hope. In a world like that, there's no future. There's no human rights future in a world taken over by such megalomaniacal leaders. But when the leaders of those nations are enabling freedoms in parts of the world that America is now denying, that is America being handed over to its reprobate mind. And so the rest of us are essentially going to be forcibly screwed because America won't do a better thing. So when the US falls apart, it will be a sad day for me. You must understand that its falling apart would somehow temporarily grant me relief. And I say temporarily because the Lord is going to rapture the body of Christ before everything falls apart for the whole world. And so therefore, that which is going to be the sudden calamity that's going to fall on the earth is the tribulation. It is the tribulation. But America, you will have literally abandoned the whole planet to be run by fools because you were even bigger fools and God could not stand what you were. So rather than sit out a lesser evil, God doesn't do that. God does not be like, oh, but America's the lesser evil. If I gave the whole world over to the BRICS alliance, there's no more human rights. God is not thinking that way. God is just. He does not look at the lesser evil. He just sees evil. And so when everything is too evil for there to be power transferred to any individual kingdom, then he will end the world. So United States of America, by dropping the baton, you are literally fast-tracking the Great Tribulation. Because God is not going to settle for you the way that I am presently settling for you. The way that I settled, which belongs to China. The Lord is not going to settle for you, America. He will rather hand you over to your captors for his own purposes. So all the countries that are against America are currently doing a better, stronger, more gifted thing. And they are going to therefore deceive the world into temporarily believing that they've got reprieve in China. South African content creators currently imagine they've got reprieve. Because when YouTube pulls a typical stunt on them by favoring American content creators, all they need to do is go to TikTok and finally experience being South African. They don't have to be shoved down their throats that American accent, an American content creator giving them advice, Badutiko South Africa, and then go to Discam and not find a product. How many South African people struggling with skin, for instance, have been subjugated to the tyranny of being recommended the ordinary products, only to not find them, unless they buy them at ridiculous prices online, having to pay customs and blah blah, or find them in some honchi in South Africa. Like still to this day, the ordinary products are not available in South Africa, go Discam, but you can buy them somehow. We would not be suffering with that cognitive dissonance of not being able to access these excellent products if at all we were not made to watch every time we are wondering how to deal with my acne, how to deal with my hyperpigmentation, how to deal with my large pores, how to deal with the dark circles under my eyes. If at all, every time we clicked on, searched such keywords, we found nothing but American content creators advising us on skin. And then there are products that they recommend that we can't find. How many have you researched skincare and found some good advice from someone in America and then not been able to find a good Discam or good leaks? Whereas there are so many South African content creators sharing tips and hints on skincare that is available on our shelves, and yet you are not even coming across them fast enough. Still to this day, I am not subscribed to not even one South African skincare expert because I don't find them, and I don't have energy to keep on scrolling down to eventually find a South African. Because when you scroll down, you will find other nationalities, not just South African. And unless, of course, it says South African YouTuber. So I can now go scanning down. All I do is do my own research and find out if I can't find a similar product on Take-A-Lot. A similar one. Why are we struggling so much? That's YouTube. But if you go on TikTok and you Google skincare, you say, I want something that's going to deal with pores. They will first give you a South African that's going to explain to you some cream on the shelves that you can find. So, I mean, when South Africans gain reprieve in a Chinese platform and not America, they're going to gravitate away from YouTube because you're just freaking annoying. Like, the world is not American. The world is God's, and it is all the nationalities of the world that belong to it. But when you skew a narrative so badly, like we're in 1992, where the only entertainment you can consume that is of high quality is Ali McBeal, but not so much a South African-produced drama. You are trying to force people to imagine that America is still just as good with nobody else being better in the world. And that's going to create animosity. It's going to create hostility in the world against what in the world is going on over here. And that hostility and animosity is going to cause them to research until they find something better, which is exactly what I did. So America, just like witches, you are stealing, you are into ill-gotten gain, you are sabotaging, but in the end, it's going to ransack your body. it's going to hurt you, because people are going to find higher quality content, higher quality products elsewhere, and I will never look back to Filmora. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had it for a whole year. There was a time when I wanted to repurchase it, because it was the only silence detection that I could find, until I made a decision to hunker down, sit, when I was so frustrated that I finally found a solution. I searched, and I found. I knocked, and the door was opened. All things worked out for me, and now I not only found what I was looking for, but then some. During the time when I was frustrated with Filmora, right? Because my content was publishing with a watermark, and I don't know what was up with that, because I get it, they don't work with Apple properly. So my version that was on my Mac was outdated, and so whenever I would publish my content, it would publish with a watermark, because it had not the Filmora version had not yet caught up or whatever, and I was very frustrated by this. So I started looking for research for other video editors, right? That didn't happen. However, eventually Filmora fixed my issue. But in order to fix my issue, they gave me a license. Yeah, 6 months, because I was late for 6 months, okay? Instead of me having the Apple subscription, I had a Filmora license for 6 months, meaning that I could download any Filmora app on their website and use it with this license, and it will give me the rights that I have. Now, with a Filmora license, you get speech to text. So basically captioning. You get captioning for free. Alright, not for free, sorry, for a certain number of minutes. You will get it for free. Following that, you then have to pay quite an exorbitant amount. It is like a plugin type thing, right? There was a time when I was doing voiceovers with stock footage, because I wanted to hide my face, because I thought that they were targeting me based on facial recognition. So speech to text went a long way, because I wanted captions at the bottom. I eventually ended up settling for YouTube captions, which are quite boring, if at all a person wants to switch them on. Do you understand? But having to type in these captions individually yourself, like, oh goodness, it can take 2 hours, right? So I wanted something that's going to auto-generate them. And when I found the speech to text inside Filmora, I wanted to see if it was worth my while to buy it as a plugin. I indeed tested the free version of it, up to a certain number of minutes. Yes, like it, guys. First of all, it took forever and a day to produce them, right? And then once they were produced, the spelling errors in there were ridiculous, and as well as the inability to be able to gauge what I said. And so you not only are hooking up a spelling error, but a word error, like an entire word that you are not recognizing as exactly what it is. What's going on? So I had to go and edit all that, and somewhere in the middle of my edits, my computer crashed. When I went back in to try it again, counted that initial time that I had used up those captions as a spent opportunity. So I was basically about to spend the rest of the remaining half an hour recreating the exact same captions, and I was like, uyadlanya. So I gave up on captioning altogether. Couple of weeks, then let's say 3 months down the line, I had another issue with Filmora, and this time I was like, yes, I need to find an alternative video editor that I am going to replace Filmora with when my subscription ends. That's when I found CapCut. Hallelujah, amen. And CapCut, I did not learn this until last night, 3 nights ago. I did not find out that CapCut has got automatic captions. Go to Filmora's page and Google, how much do I have to pay a month or per annum for captions? And you will find out that it is a horrific, shocking number, even though they converted to rands. Whereas it is entirely free on CapCut. That is a non-competitive. Now, I might not have been in the workforce in South Africa for a very long amount of time, but one thing I can tell you is that when I was working at MTN, our prices for products depended heavily on what Vodacom was still pricing them, heavily on Cell C was still pricing them, and heavily as well on what under heaven it is that Telkom Mobile and all the other subsidiaries or all the other little wannabe telcos popping up all over the country were, because competition was understood. The market is currently saturated when it comes to telecommunications products. People have got 2 to 3 SIM cards per individual in a household. So if a person can play musical chairs from a Telkom SIM card and a Vodacom SIM card and a Cell C SIM card, then we have got no business as MTN inflating our prices, because people are going to choose to switch into the Telkom SIM card when they want to do this particular thing. So we might as well align our prices to those of Telkom's. It's just it's basic laws of competition. Like if at all you don't want to be wiped out of the market, your marketing team has got to be wise enough to understand that you don't get to heavily price a product that is easily available elsewhere in the market for a lot cheaper. It's actually the thing that caused SIM cards to be free. First, Vodafone, I can't remember which of the telcos started it first, but they started to, like, in the very beginning stages of SIM cards. If you're older than the age of 27, you will remember that you could easily buy a SIM card for 150 rands. Now they're free. They come for 99 cents per pep, and if you go to Telkom Mobile, it's free altogether. One of the first company to reduce the size of SIM cards in order to incentivize people to buy their SIM cards caused all the other telecommunications providers in the country, I believe it was Cell C, to basically reduce the price of SIM cards until eventually one of them went to zero, where they said you will get a free SIM card insofar as you come with us, and then everybody made them free. Everybody made SIM cards free. So now SIM cards are free. That's why they're handing them out like hotcakes. That's what's good. Yeah, so when you don't follow the market to price your products, you're asking to be kicked out. You're asking to be annihilated altogether as a company. And for me, for Filmora, is this company that of course has got to invest violently in the ignorance of people who run with what is the uppermost result in the search engine and go with it. But if you want to research and find more for yourself, you will not waste your time on a company that is selling captions for a price, giving you free only for a certain amount of time, and even then the captions are not properly done. The speech to text recognition is not properly done. And when you edit, sometimes if you're doing it on a Mac computer that's a little bit old, it crashes the computer and then you start from scratch again. When there is another company provides captions entirely free, auto-generated, they are more accurate, and you can also play around with the font, with the bubble, with, guys, Yazi, this, when a person is talking and the word that they are saying, you can see it's highlighted in yellow or it's highlighted in some other color, and so you can follow the words with the person talking. I used to think that the people who do these shorts this way were doing it manually, and so I was like, I remember I've seen so many shorts like that. I was like, so much work. You are literally highlighting a word as you speak it. You got energy, but then again, if you've got 500,000 subscribers, I would also invest in doing things that way. So I told myself in the future, I'm going to get captions because I want to increase my audience. I want more people to watch me. More people to watch me, including those who are deaf, because it's the gospel, or people who struggle to comprehend my articulation, my accent. I want them to be able to at least read the captions in English. So I'm going to invest. I had a plan in the future to invest in captions, and I was going to pay a price for them. I was going to pay for captioning. I don't have to. It's completely free on CapCut. It is free. Fine, if your computer's slow like mine, it might take you an entire hour for your caption on a 2-hour video to finish. But it's an hour where you can drink some gooseberry juice, page through the first 5 pages of a novel, and when you come back it's done, versus doing them manually. Finding auto captions in a video editor is like finding silence detection that spares you hours of editing time and yet produces high quality content. When I found out that CapCut does captions, I was like, America and its Filmora is deliberately asking, do you understand, to be wiped out of the market altogether. It's begging to be wiped out. It's like they don't even feel a need to compete because they have so monopolized search engines. They have so manipulated search engines that they are monopolizing uptake of products for their companies. So they're not even partaking in savory competition practices that are going to help a company along futuristically, strategically, in terms of its product. They're not even trying. They're not even actually trying to be good. They're not trying to be competitive because they understand perception management that dwells inside the heads of people, consumers, who imagine that something must obviously be the right thing or the way to go purely because it is the first result in the search engine. It might not be the most informative article. It might not be, if anything, the most accurate article, but the fact that it is appearing uppermost in your search engine gives you a perception in your mind that it is the best one. And so you literally buy Filmora because it's the first video editor to pop up when you're looking for one. It is also heavily advertised in banners all over YouTube. So you just run with it when you're frustrated and you want to edit videos real quick. But I'm here to tell you that frustration with the low quality of that video editor led me to having captions in my video, as you can see right now. And it also led me to having silence detection, as you can see in my video right now, without even paying a single cent. Now, silence detection is a strategy that I employed, a loophole that I found in a software that takes out silences and comes with like a violent giant watermark, but I found a way to remove the watermark. And that software, I will admit, is American. What led me even to that, so I won't say what it is, lest they should change their watermark to fill up the whole screen, and now I can't use that anymore, right? So I don't want to give away too many secrets type thing. But how it is that I even found that software was from frustration with Filmora crashing my computer. What I had done to continue with silence detection was basically keep my Wi-Fi off, and when I keep my Wi-Fi off, Filmora gets confused as to what's going on, and so they allow you to publish without the watermark. That they caught onto and somehow fixed it, so now I no longer had access to removing Filmora without the watermark. I then told myself that, okay, fine, I'll use the watermark at Filmora. But then I tried to, by adjusting my parameters on CapCut, so that when I publish with the watermark, I can remove the watermark later on. When I try to publish that video with the video rotated in a way so as to take out the watermark, Filmora crashes my computer. It insists, it makes sure that the computer crashes before I finish. That felt to me like a direct manipulation, because when I was busy publishing it, with the whole keeping the internet off initially, it was going all the way to the end, and now every time I would try, it was crashing and crashing. I finally decided to offload that application off my computer altogether, realizing that it's going to be the end of my computer. And then I looked and I searched online, and the first person who gave me any valuable advice was an Indian content creator by the name of Snappy AI. It's a man sitting in India, a developer that I would recommend you go to check out the site of. I would recommend him any day now. Snappy AI, I found him on, he was sitting in that particular video of his on something like 3,600 subscribers with like 1,000 views of that particular video. And I was like, why does this only have 1,000 views when this is such a strong need in the market of video? So many people online are looking for exactly what this guy was offering, and nobody's looking at him. And his thingamabobby was free. I think I'm gonna cut this thing up into 3 parts, because I've been already speaking for about 2 hours and 30 minutes as I'm noticing, and I can't have it be just one big fat chunky video, so I will split it up into 3 parts. Anyway, y'all, this guy was Snappy AI, ne? I thought initially he was advising about a silence detection that he has used. But I came to find out that this was a man that was similarly frustrated by the violent prices of silence detection in the US, that was similarly frustrated also by, just not being able to find what he's looking for in editing videos. And he is a software developer in and of himself. So he made a decision to just build his own. He literally made a decision he was like, guys, I was very frustrated with sounds, and then I decided to basically just make this app. I was like, what? You were sitting in your kitchen, and then you were frustrated with silence detection, and then you were like, I'm just gonna go in and develop something here. I'm just gonna code. I was like, mad respect. So here it is that we're dealing with a developer, somebody that should be sitting on 100,000 subscribers, that came up with an application, and nobody is watching him. He's sitting in India. Snappy.ai. That is his website. It's currently in beta. Is it an alpha phase or beta? So he is offering silence detection for free insofar as you give him feedback. But you can only do 10-minute videos at a time. And when you publish it off the online space, it's significantly compressed. It's very small, but the quality is maintained. So that was another thing that impressed me about this thing. Plus, if you have tried to use Kapwing, or again, American platforms, right? If you've tried to use Kapwing, or what is that other one? Hitpaw, or any other of these online silence detection softwares, they will insist that you pay for silence detection even without the watermark. Even with the watermark on there. Kapwing used to offer up to 10 minutes silence detection, but then they realized that it's in such high demand that they took it off. But when you try to upload a video at all on Kapwing, that is usually when you produce a video, how big is it, guys? How big is it? When you have just offloaded off your YouTube, your content creator, your video editor, it is literally gigs big. It's gigs big. Depending on how long it is literally gigs upon gigs big. On Kapwing, if you upload anything over 250 megs, you have to pay. Batung, most videos produced with high quality cameras are more than 250 megs. So Kapwing literally knows that you gotta pay to use them at all. If it's above 250 megs, you gotta pay. If it is above 4 minutes, you gotta pay. If it uses silence detection, you gotta pay. But what they advertise on YouTube is a lie. And when you look for silence detection, among the over and above Filmora, one of the videos that will pop up in your face is Kapwing. They'll tell you Kapwing free video editor, and it's not free. So America is just like literally taking pride in just lying to everybody. So you will test these things and test them and be frustrated. So now when you are uploading your 1 gig, 2 gig video onto an online platform that is going to disregard your video because it is that big, even though it's only within a certain amount of time, it's going to take forever and a day to upload, first of all, only for you to realize that it's not going to take you anywhere. This guy from India was Snappy AI. My video that I uploaded he could only do 10 minutes at a time, we said that, but even the 10-minute short one, it was like 1.5 something gigs. And he took it. His software took it and saw it as just a 10-minute video. And it took like, okay, fine, something like 15 minutes for it to finally finish what it's doing. The 15 minutes of which would likely be smaller if it was not for the slowness of my internet speeds sometimes. Took that time and then produced the silence detection that I expected. And then gave me a small little video, 114 megs or whatever. Okay, so if that was the final cut, I would be able to upload a video within like 2 seconds on YouTube because it's so small. It is so small, but I still had to put it in CapCut. When then I put that small little tiny video size on CapCut, the time it took for the captions to generate was something like 15 seconds for a 10-minute video. It took 15 seconds captions to produce on CapCut on a slow computer because of how significantly compressed the file size was. And when I read the captions all throughout the video, they were something like 85 to 90% accurate. Only parts where they were not accurate was where it is that I was speaking my language, so it did not pick up the English, or where even I could understand why it was not able to gauge it as a just based on grammar alone, why it was not a word. But it was not as off Filmora was when I first tried their captions, and they are paid. So I found a free silence detection because of the stage of production that it is in terms of development. Once the guy goes into his, like, I don't know, like a premium phase, where he's now charging, he is already charging for this if people want to, but right now he's sitting on 500 followers, right? So for 500 users of his platform, and he also has a shorts generator. When he does finally go pro, if at all I still struggled with this issue, I would very likely purchase that service. Why? Because it allowed me to upload a very big and publish it through, and likely because it's in the alpha phase or the beta phase of production, he is also likely also going to increase the duration that you can upload. So he's going to go from 10 minutes to 20 to 30 to unlimited size files when he gets a big enough audience to pay for him to expand his development. He is a worthy developer to support, but he's sitting in India, and he is sitting in India, and precisely because he's sitting in India, do you understand what I'm saying? YouTube is blocking him because he belongs to BRICS. I found him because I was searching, frustrated, and it was in scrolling down, I don't know for how many pages, that I finally found this guy. And I clicked on him, and he was the first person to enable me to publish without qualms. First of all, to upload with a, what do you call this? You know, when you're uploading that timeline thing that tells you 5%, 20%, I could see the progress bar. Thank you. I could see the progress bar. So I knew how long it was going to take for this whole thing to upload. And I also could see a progress bar when it was removing silences, which did not exist on Kapwing. I was just blind. Similarly too, with the hit paw, I couldn't even get anywhere because they expected me to pay $9 per month already, without even experimenting to see if the software does anything, without even testing the software to see if it works at all. It was expecting me to pay $9. I was like, yes, in America, keep it, like literally keep it, America. You are duping an earth full of people that research when they're frustrated, and that narness, if they search and search, they eventually found. So I would highly recommend Snappy AI, and it's snapy.ai. It'll remove your silences for under 10 minutes. It'll also make your video very small, and the developer will send you an email personally. You can continue to do these videos on a loop, do you understand what I'm saying? Until he moves to another phase, in which case you're gonna have to start paying. So for now, it is free. That is what I found for silence detection. However, I was frustrated by the 10-minute intervals. Why? Because of the fact that I've got long videos, guys. Long videos. And for me to basically chop down a video that is 2 hours long into 10-minute intervals was going to make me pull out the uncomfortable hairs on my head. I had to find another one that could do the whole thing, the whole video. Do you understand? And upon doing the whole video, then I would deal with that. So I kept on looking, but I would highly recommend Snappy AI. The one that I found does not crash my computer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I remove its watermark. And in removing the watermark, the company might make a decision that people are somehow finding a free way to use our software, so they're gonna then make like a Canva and put their watermark, like, yay, have you seen the Canva watermark? Is ridiculous. Like, what? For their non-paid resources. Yeah, So if you, they might just literally change their watermark to be exactly like that of Canva, in which case I'm just like, yes, then no, it's okay. Like really, it's fine. So I don't want to confess which company this is, but I manipulate my videos in a way so as to make sure that I can cut out the watermark. And that's how I have silences now. And it does not crash my computer. It is an American platform, and I wouldn't buy it. Why? Because it's expensive. Converted to dollars, they have not yet come up with a rand model. So for those reasons, I couldn't. Like I wouldn't if I don't like I have this. Now there is nothing that would motivate me to purchase this particular software because I have a way around it. I have a way around it. I thoroughly have a way around it. I have no motivation. There's no incentive for me to purchase it. It's too expensive. It is way too expensive. If they reduce the price, I might find it worth a while. But since I found it. Long story short, everything worked out for my good. Everything worked out for my good. What worked out for my good? America's diabolical strategy made me eventually seek, and I found. I was about to perish, but then I gained knowledge, and my videos have improved. I now have captions because of how much I got frustrated by America. Oh yeah, how in the world did I even discover the captions on CapCut? I was looking to add text to my video because I wanted to make a comment or something along the way in my video, and I noticed something on the side called auto captions. I initially tried auto captions, but then it was taking so long that I got frustrated and I stopped using it. But finally, when Filmora basically cut me off from using their silence detection, I decided that I was going to use captions to do silence detection manually. In other words, where it is that the captions would stop, that's where I would cut out the silences. Took me hours. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. The captions were excellent. I would have had a silence detected video. I just cutting out the parts where the captions were quiet. It would have taken so long, too long. But by then I'd already discovered that captions work out really well with all different kinds of art to it. So now my videos from the insanity I was endured through by the American conglomerate have resulted in me improving my videos a whole bunch for free. I not only have got high quality videos, but I've got videos that have got captions in them and silence detection. Who in the world happens upon content like that with also the person speaking things like these and does not watch a video from the beginning to the end and come to the conclusion that something seedy and dirty is happening over here? Who does not get to a place where they say something very nefarious is going on? Why is this woman going nowhere? First of all, her video is high quality, it's engaging, it's capturing her videos. Secondly, she's got captions, so even the deaf can watch her. The blind can listen to her. Do you understand? So she is catering to a broader audience. And on top of that, you are engaged throughout it all because you're not having to listen to the parts of her video where she's just quiet. And it's got music added to it. What's going on? I am literally an Angie B walking at you, where people will watch me and wonder, why is no one watching this woman? And America is then going to have to give an answer for that, and they're going to struggle. And South Africans that are seeking for information on what it is that is plaguing them at present are not finding me because their dumb country made sure I can't be found on TikTok, and America made sure I can't be found. America made sure I can't be found on YouTube and Facebook, and South Africa made sure I can't be found on TikTok. So South Africans are essentially starving, hungry, trying to find out what is the solution to all of this dirt all over the country, and they're searching for stuff online. They're searching for things on TikTok and on YouTube, and they're not finding me because the world is spinning like no man's business. America, however, is going to be what it is that America always has been. When they get busted for infringements of human rights, they change their minds in a way that China just doesn't. I will therefore never gain peace on TikTok, like ever, because South Africa is just not going to do a better thing. But because America cares about its reputation in a way that a lot of these authoritarian countries just don't, they don't care what people think, they just do what they want because, they're like Aleister Crowley or whatever. America does not do that. It's got too much to lose to just ignore a hard cry of a humanitarian nature on the ground. They don't want to lose their reputation for being the country that heeds such issues, right? So America is going to do better by me, meaning I'm going to grow and monetize off American platforms. I will grow and monetize off Facebook. I will grow and monetize off YouTube. I will not ever go on Instagram. Maybe I will once America repents, but right now I'm just mad at Instagram because it suspended me without reason. I will also grow on my WordPress account. America as a total is going to stop doing this nefarious thing because they're going to be facing somewhat of a tribunal and try to avoid it. But South Africa won't. It doesn't have an incentive to do so. Neither will China. So their little TikTok can go fly out the window like a bird. I don't care. But thank you, China, for providing me CapCut. I appreciate that for free. So thanks to China, I've got captions. Thanks to China, I've also got, so all the wickedness of the world has benefited me. I've got captions. Thanks to America, I've got silence detection. And thanks to America, I will also very soon have money in my pocket. So thank you very much. But before then, the wickedness of the wicked will ensnare them, and the righteousness of the righteous will deliver them. Before then, they will keep on trying to finish the nefarious thing that they've started. And in so attempting to fetter what they have started, are just going to shoot themselves further in the foot and cause the the recession even further of America, of American, in the sense that Americans are going to become more and more lazy because they have been given an unfair advantage. They're going to study less and less, do less and less, while getting everything handed to them on a silver platter. And then one day, boo, it's going to fall apart, and Americans are going to have to play catch up in the worst way. I've already explained that to you guys. So everything worked out for me. So Filmora should have listened to me. They should have taken my advice. The day's going to arrive when CapCut is so going to blow them out the water that they're going to make a lot of their plug-in features that they pay for free. They are going to provide certain features for free, and they are going to innovate, develop for Apple. They will finally develop for Apple consumers, because they're going to lose so many clients from the Apple database. In other words, the ones who buy their Filmora subscription from Apple computers, they're going to lose so many such clients that they're going to realize that it's worth their while. So the advice of some African girl that they ignored, because that's what they always do to us, is it not? They're going to wish they had taken it. Type establishment thing. So eventually America will kind of pull up its socks, because it will realize that being lazy doesn't pay. A little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will overwhelm you like an armed man, and scarcity like a bandit. People are going to make like me and research ways to get out of a rut that they've been put in by an irresponsible country, and upon doing that, find alternative methods. And when then America starts to lose support in increasing measure, that's already started, they're gonna literally straighten up and fly right. People are gonna, what is this word? Re-energize, switch on the jet engines of their behinds and start to run again. They are going to work hard, because the strategy of America has made Americans, and you don't get to be lazy and still be wealthy. Do you understand what I'm saying? A little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will overwhelm you like an armed man, and scarcity like a bandit. More and more people are going to realize that Angie B is better than Mercy Gono. And so Mercy is going to lose followers. She's going to lose views, maybe not subscribers, but views are what pay rent. Do you understand? And she's going to have to up her game and stop uploading the same old content over and over again, because she's going to now be dealing with the violent growth of NGB taking her over. She's eventually going to have to put in the work. So even, it turns out, moving to America makes you lazy too. Why? Because then you fall under the umbrella of American protection that causes you to not have to work so hard to get your daily bread type establishment thing, because you're a spoiled brat. And now all of your fellow Africans, Mercy of which is from Nigeria, all of your fellow Africans going to be much better than you by the time we're done. There is a lady also that is growing very slowly that is from Africa. She's from Nigeria. I forgot her. She also does hair content, also growing really slowly. However, her content is really good. Please give her to me. I need to find her. She's always wearing contact lenses. She's like dark, gorgeous. Okay, Zara, Efik Zara. Thank you. Efik Zara is from Nigeria. Efik Zara is from Nigeria. And Efik is growing slowly too. And I just don't understand it. Her content is out of this world, really, and yet she is growing at a tiny little pace. And I can't understand it. Have not been able to understand why Efik Zara is so slow. Have not been able to understand why Angie B is so slow. And so much better even are they, both content creators that do hair, than Mercy Gono. And yet, Mercy is growing at a violent rate. All of these women are African, but one of them in particular lives in, in America. One of them lives in America. So you will see the difference between an African that moves to the US versus an African that stays in Africa. Their work ethic, massive difference. You will pick up a huge difference. So Africans with your diaspora to America and Europe, especially America, you're gonna regret it, essentially. You moving there made you lazy. You moving there gave you the American complacency to think that you can just get your bread buttered on both sides, manipulate and massage your way into things and get your daily bread. You by collateral damage got destroyed by the American insensitivity against the world at large. So you're going to wish you had stayed in South Africa. But at the same time, I don't really think you should wish that you stayed in South Africa, because South Africa is currently very evil, but you get my point. You understand my point. So everything worked out for my good this past weekend. Absolutely everything worked out for my good. So why I was quiet an entire weekend was because of these journeys that I was in. The whole trying to finally get the right balance of video quality and sound quality, audio quality, not just audio, sorry, what is this? Picture quality, the right balance of getting what I need in order to make my content really high quality. It took me an entire weekend to figure it out. And only on Sunday was I able to finally have a schedule that works out with software that works out for me. And that's why I was able to work out on Sunday and basically upload all the content that I did on Sunday instead of on Friday. So Friday I just sat around trying to figure the stuff out, and it melted into Saturday, and only on Sunday was I set free. However, based on this occult organization that's trying to kill me and this wicked man from America, I was apparently dead. Like literally they thought that their spells had worked, except I was busy seeking and I found. I was busy knocking and the door was open. I was busy researching that I might not perish, and it bore fruit. So now I've got better quality. I have content. I've got literally my videos are much better across the board. My fitness, everything. And I've made a decision to publish everything in standard definition to increase my chances of exporting speeds, because now I'm using like captioning, which requires a video to be small for it to happen really quickly. And I'm also using another software to do silence detection, so when the video is small, it runs through a lot faster. So all of my stuff is in standard definition now, but that's okay, because in the future I will move back to high definition when I get a new computer. But the quality of the content, even in standard definition, is so high that it is going to cause lots and lots of suspicion. And that's exactly what God wants me to do. That is precisely what the Lord God Almighty wants me to do. He wants me to continue working as excellently as I possibly can, that I might raise suspicion as to why no one is looking at me. Because that suspicion is already being spurned across the world, across multiple places, by people who are creasing their foreheads wondering, I'm glad I found Angie B, but why is no one watching her? I'm glad I found Karabo, but why is no one watching her? I'm glad I found FX Zara, but why is no one watching her? I'm not the only one. And the Lord is inspiring millions of Africans who are content creators to be so good at what they do that they will raise suspicion about what America's doing. Already, they have made an observation that there is something weird and freaky that America is doing, because people have got to say Nigerian YouTuber or South African YouTuber just to get keywords to influence the algorithm or the search engine to pop out South African content only. Otherwise, they keep on shoving down our throats Ally McBeal when we would much rather watch a South African law show. It's no longer back in the day when only America is producing good content. It is 2023, and far better countries are not getting viewed because America is manipulating the narrative. Well, we're sick and tired of hearing the American accent. We are also sick and tired of watching nothing but American content creators, and we would have no issue with this if it was a nice balance. But in order for us to find our own countrymen, we gotta go to TikTok. In order for us to find our own countrymen, we gotta manipulate keywords and search engine results in a way that is going to bring them forward. It's unacceptable, and America is using this as a strategy against content creators across the world. You cannot make the world American America. The world is South African, it is Nigerian, it is South Sudanese, it is Congolese, it is Colombian, it is Argentinian, it is Spanish. The world is made up of multiple nations. You literally cannot convert the world into Americans. It is wrong. And it would have been okay if at all America was actually holy, but it's not, right? It's currently like Babylon, and God does not want us taking after the model of Babylon. People are sick and tired of turning on Netflix and clicking on an American show that looks like it has an innocent title, only for them to be slathered with too much sex, too much nudity, too much profanity, too much proliferation of the colorful agenda, where your lead actress then turns out to be bisexual, for crying out loud, making out with girls and boys in front of like kids on television that you trusted, that based on this being apparently a family show, for crying out loud, your child has got to observe a gay kissing scene on TV. It is exhausting. The woke mob in America is exhausting. So quite frankly, I would much rather watch K-drama. I would much rather watch Korean drama if I want a taste of some other country's culture's television than watch American television, because I'm sick and tired of being subjugated to the tyranny of watching gay sex scenes when I did not sign up for it. I was shocked out of my mind when, upon watching Good Doctor, which was a relatively good viewing up until season 3, there was a pregnant man who was basically a trans woman. She was a female by birth. but then transitioned over to becoming a man, and then he fell pregnant, and they're trying to make it look as if though men can fall pregnant. That was on Good Doctor. Good Doctor would be the equivalent of Grey's Anatomy. Did you ever find anything of that nature in Grey's Anatomy back in the day? So back in the day when we were watching Grey's Anatomy, it was okay for us to watch Grey's Anatomy because they were not putting some taboo crap on there. But now today, you watch a medical show hoping to see medical knowledge, medical accuracy. You are hoping to see basically consistency with what actually happens in real life. And then you meet stuff like that, where a man is pregnant on a medical drama. So Good Doctor lost me on that day. That's America. That's America. Shaun of which, by the way, the waking version, the real life version, the lead character on Good Doctor is not even from America, he's from Europe. So it turns out indefinitely that Europe and America, the West, is just currently very crazy. By a sign. And that rubbish, you will find it in South Africa too. So when you're exhausted with seeing stuff like that, I would come here and strongly recommend to you as a South African that if you are weary of happening upon gay sex kissing scenes in shows, if you are tired of having your children be suggested to funny little woke agendas, and you want innocent viewing still like you are in 1992 K-drama, it's entertaining. You're gonna have to read subtitles or a voiceover in English, but it will be clean entertainment that you can trust. Watching with your children is not going to blind them from reality in God's eyes. That's the rubbish that America is proliferating. So if the world, if K anything is growing the way that it is growing right now, it evidences that people still want purity. That the world is exhausted with feminists that think they don't need men. The world is exhausted with a woke agenda. The world is not American. It's Korean. It's Japanese. The world is South American, Colombian, Argentinian, Venezuelan. The world is Congolese and Egyptian and Liberian. The world is made up of many nations. It is Indian. It is not American. And YouTube is making it look like it is. And not just YouTube, but Instagram. And they are playing dirty, and their organizations are not even trying to work hard to improve their company's marketing strategy, because they can trust that the algorithm will push them. Well, it's about time we pushed back as a global citizenship and showed America that you cannot feed us so much junk and make us just take it in our stride. Untrained me from settling with America. You need to train yourselves too. I don't hate Americans. Neither do I hate America. I told you I stand with them faster than I do my own country. But the rubbish that their leadership is doing is entirely unacceptable. Therefore, witches, what you are right now is currently like America. You thrive for a very long amount of time. You started out Christian, just like America. And then somewhere along the way, you got dissatisfied with waiting on God. And then you experimented with shoddy, underhanded, funny little ideologies. And you ran. Initially, they paid off for you. Initially, they kept on bringing in the money for you. Initially, they sabotaged and indeed pulled the rug from under the feet of better people than you, like Karabo. You know how you cost me my job? You know how you cost me my reputation? You know how you cost me my husband and children? Yeah, at first you succeed. But then in the long run, things just start to become really creepy and weird and eerie, where it is that you're looking at a very highly gifted woman, unable to even so much as get one job interview. And this woman is so badly treated that obviously there is persecution going on, but you're still trying to look good. Over and above that, you have eaten so many demons that in and of yourself you can't think straight. So all the content that you produce, it looks like what Doja Cat is currently doing. Literally doing music videos looking like a little devil. You can tell that something's very wrong, but you keep pushing it because initially it paid you off. Remember, it made you a superpower. Now that you're a superpower, you have turned yourself against God, and you keep on consuming demons over and over and over and over and over again until your life is so destroyed that you imagine that by pulling one last spell, you'll get ahead, and then you die permanently. And you go into eternity, and you spend eternity there regretting why you did what you did. America is about to lose its power as a nation. That is basically the equivalent of eternal condemnation. And when they've lost their power, when they have lost their superpower standing, when they have finally ceased to be a global superpower, and that is inevitably going to happen, they are going to wish they had never turned away from God. And they are going to turn their faces back to God in prayer, hoping that He will restore their nation's power. But by then, they'll be so destroyed that they will never regain it again. America is not in Bible prophecy for a reason. It is because they're not the leading superpower in the very end. It is going to lose its standing. And only once it's lost everything will it regret it. You are like America, witches. You start out good, you go awry, you try to fix things in your own image, you fall apart, and then you walk in regret. People happen upon you, they catch on to. They see that you're not as good as that girl, but why do you get the promotion? They can see that you're not as good as that guy, but why do you get the promotion? What is it about you? It then becomes obvious, it becomes clear that you are a saboteur. Because when you suck at what you do, like Filmora sucks at being a video editor, and yet you get so many sales per month, ultimately people are going to research what's going on over here. And when then they find CapCut, when then they find Snappy AI, they are going to graduate away from whatever Filmora is. When they find CapCut, they move away from Filmora. When they find Snappy AI, they move away from Kapwing and Hitpo. You must understand that America, you are about to be moved out the way, because we're going in. We've got a squad, the world population. You're one little country in a conglomerate of nations across the world. You are naive to think you can sow the destinies of other nations' peoples and not have something come up against you with a giant boot print on your face. And that boot print belongs to Jesus. And he is charging not only me, but many more people across the world to not only catch on to what you are, but also move on to alternatives so as to exsanguinate or drain power in America. Because right now people are still buying your things. Right now people are still settling for your things. They're still trying to buy the ordinary products, even though it is violently expensive, do you understand, from any other online platform, just so they can take the advice of an American YouTube content creator. The day is going to arrive when even the sales of the ordinary are going to decline because Africans are going to find a suitable alternative to the ordinary right here in South Africa. It's going to happen. You must understand. And when it does happen, you're going to get your act together. But by then you will have lost so much of your reputation. You will have lost so much of your reputation and your clout as a country, and be inevitably on a downward spiral that is going to crash you as a nation. That all that will be left now for you to do as a country is to repent individually as people and trust the Lord to keep your lives secure until you die. Because you are not getting a country anymore that is going to be the world superpower in your back pocket. You're no longer going to be a proud American, but an American that is ashamed of what you did as a country to the global citizenship. You played dirty. So just like witches, you're about to see your day in court. My prayer, however, is that just like witches, repent before you die. Because you can see that you've already lost a lot. Repent before you die, America. Try and salvage your country. If you won't, I angazi. All I know is I'm going to get what I need. I'm going to get everything that I need. And it's going to it's going to come from America changing its mind. I'm going to get my YouTube channel. I am going to get my Facebook page. I am going to get everything. But not before America first tries to finish what has started. Watch this space. So Romans 8:28, all things work out together for my good. I hope you've been edified. I'm signing out in Christ's name, Cran K. Peace. I've been speaking for 3 whole hours. I'm going to break this up into 3 parts.